So for question 8, this question is about hydrocarbons. Part A1 tells us the molecular formula C4H8 represents all the isomers of an alkene. Explain what is the meaning of the term isomers. So if we look into it, isomers are simply compounds with the same molecular formula but different structural or displayed. You can write either of this formula. Moving on to A2, the displayed formula of one of the isomers of the alkene is shown. Draw displayed formula for two other alkene isomers with the molecular formula C4H8. So the given one had double bond in the first carbon, so we can just write give a double bond in the second carbon. That would form our first isomer. And for this one, we'll just add one branched carbon with 3 hydrogen. And this one will have 2 hydrogen. So that's your answer for part A2. So part B tells us but1N reacts with bromine to form a compound with molecular formula C4H8Br2. What is the name given to this type of reaction? Since bromine was added, we can just simply say it was an addition reaction. Part C1 tells us the alkene C3H6 can be polymerized to form the polymer polypropene. Draw the repeat unit of polypropene. So we can just write CH3. Simple question. H. So this is your answer for part C1. Moving on to C2. These are two methods for disposing of polymers such as polypropene. Method 1 is burying them in landfill sites. Method 2 is burning them to release heat energy. State 1 environmental problem linked to each of these methods of disposal. So the problem linked to method 1 is polypropane or polymers. They are inert or they are unreactive. The problem linked to method 2 is when they're burned, they release toxic fumes or greenhouse gases. They produces greenhouse gases. So either of them is acceptable. Moving on to part D, complete combustion of 1 mole of an alkane produces 396 grams of carbon and 180 grams of water. This is the equation for the reaction. So they gave us the equation. Calculate the values of x, y, and z. So for y, we can just simply divide the mass they gave us for carbon dioxide with the value of mr. That would give us 9. For z, it's for water. The mass is given 180. The mr is 18. That would be 10. So since alkane was mentioned, it was 1 mole. This is 1 mole of alkane. So here we have carbon dioxide. So for oxygen, so this is 9CO2. So we have 18 oxygen atoms and ZH2O. This one is 10H2O. So here we have 10 oxygen atoms. So there's 10 oxygen atoms, there's 18, that makes around 10 plus 18. We have 28 atoms of oxygen. So therefore, the value of X should be 14. Moving on to E1, it's about balancing, and I believe they told us to include the state symbols. Pretty simple. So we have oxygen, this is gas, carbon monoxide, this is gas as well. Carbon, that's solid, H2O, that's liquid. If we were to balance it, there's 8 carbons, so there's 3 already given, we can just write 5. There's 18 hydrogen, we can just write 9. 9 into 2 is 18. Now just balance the number of oxygens. So to balance the number of oxygen, we have 5 and there is 9, that's 14, so that should be 7. So the last part of this question tells us explain one problem for humans caused by a product of this incomplete combustion. So carbon monoxide is produced, obviously. Carbon monoxide is produced, which is a toxic gas, or you can say limits the capacity to carry oxygen in the blood. So that's your answer for question 8.